Hello everyone, I'm the Shinigami.
And I am the Quincy, and welcome back to YourOtaku, your number one source for manga and anime.
Yep. So today, we are reviewing Fairy Tale Chapter 337.
The Golden Plains!
Yes, the Golden Plains. So,
Oh,
yeah.
again, just like last week, if you're a very hardcore fan of Fairy Tale, you can take criticism. You can stay. But if you're a hardcore fan of Fairy Tale, you can't take criticism. And you should leave.
Yes, you will not enjoy this review. So where should we start off? I'll let you give the key points.
Alright, well, first off, we start with Lucy pretty much talking to Natsu, and then that's the first key point. The second key point is pretty much what happens after the gates. The third key point is the realization the Dragon Slayers have. And then the last key point would be Future Rogue's ending and Future Lucy's ending.
Okay. So, we should start with part 1. So do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Well, Lucy's pretty much looking at what's left of the gate. It's destroyed. And then she says, "Oh, Natsu, we did it. Blah, 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 blah. We destroyed the gate. Everything should go back to normal." And then the princess of Fior comes out. And then Acardius is next to her. And then Acardius is like, "Oh, this gate was broken. Like, it was just broken, even though it was a really hard type of metal and stuff, it broke. It just broke." But when you saw the gate, it looked like it didn't just break, it looked like it melted.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess so." Didn't really like this part much. But then, Natsu notices something, and yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about this part either. There really wasn't much to it other than, what we saw. And I just didn't feel like there was much. It's just sort of like stating the obvious in a way. So yeah, I can see that pretty clearly. You don't have to say what I'm thinking, basically. But, I was kind of hoping that, Road would get back up. But, oh well. So the next part, the the thing that happened. Would you like to go first on that part?
Sure. Well, Natsu pretty much notices the dragon glowing, and then every dragon begins to glow, and apparently they're being brought back to their time. Um, then we're taken to Windy Laxus against the Hiro dragon, pretty much. It begins to glow, and then it's wondering why it's doing that. Then the princess shows up, and then the princess pretty much stalls time by telling the dragon stuff like, "Oh, you're the Jade Dragon," pretty much. And then the dragon's like, "Oh shit," and then he vanishes. So every dragon begins to vanish. Now here's where I really have a problem with this. The dragons, to me, seem like they were going to be the best part of this arc of the Grand Magic Games. Yet he skipped all of the fights. Hiro skipped all of the fights. Like, a couple chapters ago, Sting and Rogue versus, Scissor Runner, and the other dragon. That looked like a promising fight right there. You know, 2 dragons versus 2 dragon slayers who can use Dragon Force at will. Nope, skipped it. We're not gonna show you that. Cobra versus his dragon. You bring Cobra back. You rarely show him, and then you skip his fight. Oh, you know what? Now we're just gonna throw Cobra back in jail. We're never gonna see him again until Acnologia comes in and destroys everything. Laxus go and help Wendy. Oh, whoopie damn fucking do. We don't see that fight either. He skipped it. Gajil, we barely saw him when the dragon invasion started. Next time we see him, the dragons vanish and he's with Levy. Like, we didn't even learn anything about that dragon. And then all the little dragon humanoids, they vanish too. It's like, what are you doing? You just skipped every fight, and you just focused. Even though you didn't show Natsu for extended time in the manga, that's all you focused on. Like every chapter where you could have been showing fights, you were just building up to Natsu and Nakama punching Future Rogue, which was the last chapter. And like, it pains me that this manga is so popular. Like, does anyone even understand that Kubo, Kishimoto, and Oda, if they write one chapter near as bad as this one or last week's, or Gloria, don't even get me started on Gloria again, they will get so much hate from their community that they will actually listen to change next week's chapter and make it even better. But Hiro doesn't listen to his readers and his viewers and people who buy his manga pretty much give him his paycheck. Like, why? Why? Just Hiro Mashima, just give Fairy Tail to another writer, and then you go work on your second manga that you're working on currently right now. That's it. Because that skipping the fights was bullshit. Skipping the dragon fights is like skipping the fights with the Espada or the Stern Ritter or the Akatsuki or CP9 or the Warlords. It's like skipping. It's like skipping those type of fights. You don't do that shit. Those are the fights that are gonna help save your arc and story.
Yeah, I was really disappointed by this part too, seeing the dragons go away. So not only did technically not only did Natsu win with the power of friendship, but he pretty much gypped anybody else out of a power boost. Because because we didn't really see the fights, and I'm sure Kishimoto will come on later and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, they got stronger during that fight, even though he didn't see it."
Mashima.
Yeah, Mashima. Damn, I don't know why I say that. But yeah. So he's gonna say, "Oh yeah, they got power boosts or whatever during that fight, which you didn't see." And then none of the Dragon Slayers defeated any dragons, and Natsu's the only one who accomplished anything really again. And I know I compare Fairy Tail with the other big three, but they're doing great in their current arcs. Like, if you compare, I really hope this isn't Fairy Tail's final war, because every arc has a final war. One Piece will have a final war. Bleach is in its final war, and Naruto is fighting his final war. So, I really hope that wasn't Fairy Tail's final war. Because if it is, then that was very pitiful, pathetic, and a complete waste of time. But yeah, like the Quincy said, you can't just skip other fights. I know Kubo is not the best at showing other fights, but at least during the Espada, fighting the Espada, we got to see Chad fight Rukia, Renji and Uryu fight, even if it was just a little bit, but they still got to fight some. And then Luffy, I mean, that was Luffy's war, but I'm pretty sure the Straw Hats will have a war that they'll all fight in soon. And don't even get me started on Naruto. Everybody's fighting in Naruto. There's entire episodes and chapters dedicated to each character in Naruto fighting in the war. So, like I've been saying, I really hope that wasn't the final war. Otherwise, that was a huge mistake, Mashima ending it like that. But I'm gonna give some hope that Mashima may save himself next week. That he may, I don't know the word for it, I can't remember, but bring himself back next week. But yeah. The dragon's fading. It was kind of just sad. I wish they would have stayed, like some loophole in it. Humanity loses faith. But nope. Humanity will always have faith with the power of friendship.
One thing to add to what you just said, like we just came off a tournament arc in Fairy Tail, and showing manga, tournament arcs are usually the best arcs in showing manga, other than rescue arcs, like Soul Society, Ines Lobby. Like those type of arcs are usually the best arcs in the manga. And when you think of tournament arcs, you think of like the Dark Tournament from Yu Yu Hakusho, the Cell games from Dragon Ball Z, the Chunin exams from Naruto, the current tournament arc in One Piece right now, which, by the way, is kicking the crap out of the Grand Magic Games. And it's only like 8-9 chapters into it, and it's already doing better than the Grand Magic Games have. But like, you have huge expectations if you're gonna make a rescue arc or a tournament arc. You have to live up to the hype, and the Grand Magic Games did not live up to the hype or the standards that tournament arcs should hold. And that doesn't even involve the dragons, because the dragons was just shit. The Grand Magic Games had a lot of potential.
A lot of potential, but Hiro didn't know how to use it. Should we move on to the next key point?
Yes.
Okay. So the next one is where Natsu talks to Rogue.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go first on this one. Really not much to say about this part either, really. Natsu talked to Rogue and he told him about his shadow basically, no matter what, it's going to come after him and Frosh or whatever, and Frosh is going to die within a year, and he told Natsu to tell present Rogue to protect Rosh, I think, or to be wary. Or protect Frosh. But again, not much to say about this part because I didn't think much of it. What did you think?
I didn't think much of this part either, because Future Rogue just lost, right?
Yeah.
And now he suddenly seems like he's dead. What the hell is that shit? Natsu says our Rogue, isn't going to become the rogue you are. And then, like you said, Rogue says the shadow's going to be persistent and keep trying to, take him over and tell my past self to protect Frosh within a year or so. And it's like, wow, okay, so now you care about Frosh. Now you care about your past self. Like, you get beat up and then you change. That's fairy tale for you. You get beat up and then you change your personality. Like, what even? What even?
Even though last chapter he was saying all this stuff about how he didn't give a rat's ass about Frosh.
Exactly. I didn't know, like, villains change that easily.
No.
I'm pretty sure Arlong's still a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet he is.
Cody Jones is old, but I'm pretty sure he's still, talking shit.
Yeah. They all are.
Aizen's still being Aizen. I mean, he hasn't changed.
He hasn't.
Like,
that's fairy tale for you, though.
It's fairy tale for you. I'm gonna knock him a punch the evil out of you. That's fairy tale. Let's get to the last key point.
Yeah. And the final key point. I'll let you go first.
The final key point is pretty much future Lucy returning back to her timeline. At first, it looked like future Lucy's clothes were vanishing. Alright, whatever. We haven't seen that shit before. But no, she returns to her timeline, and she's alive. She wakes up and she sees Natsu. And then they all run over to Fairy Tail. And it looks like the Fairy Tail Guild has grown, so I guess Fairy Tail's gonna get a lot of recruits soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it, so, fuck it. Whatever.
I was honestly a little bit confused on this part because I wasn't sure if it was present or future Lucy. But then I thought, why is present Lucy running around like that? And I thought, well, maybe it's future Lucy. So, but now I know. And like you said, it was just a meh part. It's like, I could care less, really. Oh, she's alive now because of that. Okay. See, he can't even kill future Lucy. Hiro's just like, no. Everybody must live. Everybody that's good must live. So
that is true. He brought future Lucy into the storyline so he could kill her without killing present Lucy. Yet future Lucy still lives.
Yeah. So basically, there's no point to that, really. Mashima.
So, wait. If next week's chapter ends up being where everyone, like, it pretty much goes back in time and everyone comes back to life, that means Ultir will be brought back to life, and it means that everything she did, even if it was just for 1 minute, will be completely worthless now.
Yep.
Because if she comes back to life, then everyone that she died for to bring back to life will, come back to life. What the fuck?
It's just like, there was no reason for her to even die in the first place then.
Exactly.
So I don't think this chapter really deserves a basic fact.
It doesn't. It doesn't even deserve a rating.
No, it doesn't. Rating is bad. That's just what it is.
Terrible.
The chapter, bad. So, should we end the video?
I want to compare it to one more thing.
Okay.
I'm going to compare Fairy Tail to Dragon Ball Z. Alright, you guys are going to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Trunks came back into the past. He altered the past. Where Android 19 and 20, I believe, where they came into the game instead of 17 and 18. That was good. Future Rogue and Future Lucy come to the past. Shadow Rogue says, "Oh, this is a different Gajil than what I remember." Alright. Time has been altered. Back to Dragon Ball Z. 17 pretty much gets destroyed along with Cell. But then you know what? Trunks goes back to his timeline. 17 and 18 are still there. They're still evil. So that's the basic rule of time travel. You go back into the past and you pretty much split your timeline in two. Like if you change the past, your future won't be the same. The future whose past you change will change, but your future won't change. But in Fairy Tail, their future changed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure once Rogue protects Frost from dying, Future Rogue, who had to kill Sting, will be no more. Sting will magically come back to life in the future, and then there were two. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Hiro Mashima can't even understand a simple time travel, guide. How do you miss that up? Like seriously, how do you miss that up?
You obviously didn't read the book on time travel.
If I was Sheldon Cooper, I would go into like a 40-minute argument on this.
You would contact Hiro and tell him what's what.
He would. But I think now we should end the chapter for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, links are in the description, and be sure to check out more of our videos. And I am the Shinigami.
And I am the Quincy.
And I'm signing off.
Adios, otakus.
Jana.